hold music. You want to avoid it, and so do your customers. So say goodbye to hold music and hello to faster, smarter support with Salesforce. Make service more personal and agents more productive using built-in trusted AI. Then watch costs and wait times drop and satisfaction soar. Support customers in a whole new way with Service GPT. Learn how at salesforce.com/servicegpt.
Another Bite, hosted by John Dick, Jory Monroe, and Ariel Boswell, is brought to you by the HubSpot Podcast Network, the audio destination for business professionals. Each week, they break down episodes of everyone's favorite business television show, Shark Tank, offering their own unique thoughts, spin-off companies, critiques, and even talk with some of the folks who pitched to the sharks and live to tell the tale. From squatty potties to mensch on a bench, and even that weird golf club you use as a toilet, Another Bite takes a fresh look at some of your favorite episodes, and even more importantly, answers what these entrepreneurs are up to now. It's an amazing show for getting a more in-depth look at how businesses are built. And no matter where you are in your journey of work or business ownership, you can be sure you'll walk away with a fresh perspective. So listen to Another Bite wherever you get your podcasts. This is Optimal Work Daily, episode 1133. Yes, there really is a shortcut to success. Part 1, by Jeff Goins of GoinsWriter.com. And I'm your narrator, Dan, and I've got a bit of a longer post for you today, so what I'm going to do is read the first half right now and then finish up the rest for you tomorrow. So for now, let's get to part 1 from Jeff as we start optimizing your life. Yes, there really is a shortcut to success. Part 1, by Jeff Goins of GoinsWriter.com. The other day, someone commented on a Facebook post of mine in which I promised them a quote-unquote shortcut to success. They said there's no such thing. That made me wonder, really? There are no shortcuts in life? Only the hardest working people in the world win? It's a popular belief, which should be reason enough to question its validity. But let's explore this idea. Let's say there are no shortcuts, and everyone is as successful as they absolutely deserve to be. Does that mean Bill Gates, who makes about $11 billion per year, or $1.3 million per hour, works 54,000 times harder than the average American worker who earns $50,000 per year? How is that even possible? Look, we all want to believe hard work pays off, and it does. But at a certain point, you can't work any harder. You have no more time than anyone else. So what do? You have to learn how to work smarter, and that means learning from someone who's already been there. You need a guide. For years as a writer, I struggled to get noticed. I blogged and nobody cared, tried to write books no one would read, and failed to motivate myself to work. I wanted a publisher but didn't know anyone in the industry and didn't have any readers to show for my work. I was stuck. What I needed was someone to show me another path. It didn't have to be a shortcut. I was just tired of the long road to success because it was leading nowhere and desperately wanted to know what was missing. In any great story, there is a point in the journey when the hero meets an obstacle he cannot overcome. This is the moment when the guide arrives. This is the essence of Joseph Campbell's hero's journey. You cannot succeed without someone wiser to show you the way. Frodo needed Gandalf, Luke needed Obi-Wan, and you and I need a mentor. Sure enough, in my own journey, that's what happened. I met a handful of people who acted as guides in helping me become an author, speaker, and entrepreneur. My dream became a reality within a matter of 18 months. But this wasn't because I hustled, it's because I found a guide. And you know what? I didn't work any harder in those 18 months than I did in the previous 7 years, but I did work smarter. Not because I was any smarter, but because someone showed me a better way. I met the right people, connected with the right networks, and practiced my craft in the right way. In other words, I found a shortcut. But maybe you don't like thinking of success this way. I certainly don't. It's embarrassing to admit I got a little lucky, that I was in the right place at the right time, that it wasn't just about the hustle. But that's the truth, and I think we need to acknowledge this reality. How to find a mentor. How do you find a guide, or in today's terms, a mentor? It's not as easy as we'd like. First of all, mentors tend to be busy people, so getting in front of one will take work. People move around so much these days, and so many things, including our careers, are constantly changing. It stands to reason then that your mentor will not just be one person, but a team of people. In my book, The Art of Work, I call this an accidental apprenticeship. The idea here is that if you pay attention to your life and the people who are in it, you will find there are those around you right now whom you can learn from. In that sense, the best mentor is the one that's right in front of you. Still, you'll want to be intentional about getting into a relationship with this person. So there are a few steps I recommend following that have worked well for me and that I've seen others emulate as well. 1. Make your first ask a small one. In other words, don't lead with, "Will you mentor me?" Instead, ask for a few minutes of their time. Offer to buy them lunch or coffee, whatever. 2. Make it all about them. Ask them to tell their story. Ask specific questions about choices they made in their own success journey and why. In other words, flatter them to death. Nobody is immune to this kind of treatment, and it certainly beats the awkward alternative. Come prepared with questions and try to talk as little as possible. If you show up informed and interested, you will be both engaging and memorable. 3, take notes. When you meet with this person, write down everything they say. Honor their wisdom by capturing as much of it as possible. I recommend using a notebook and pen over a phone, just so that it's clear you're not checking your email or texting your buddies. 4, follow up. This is perhaps the most important and most often overlooked secret to getting into a relationship with influencers who can eventually become part of your team of mentors. I meet with a lot of people and even tell them how important this is, and still see on average about 80% of people never follow up. What I mean by this is a simple thank you email for the person's time, or even better, a copy of the notes you took to show that you really did listen and take to heart their wisdom. And 5, become a case study. Hands down, this is the best thing you can do to earn the attention of an influencer. And if you do this consistently over time, you will get people interested in mentoring you. Take some piece of advice this person has given you, or published in a book, blog post, etc., and apply it. Demonstrate that this stuff works, and tell the world about it. The reason this works is fairly obvious. You're making the mentor look good. Again, this goes back to making it about them. Don't offer empty flattery. Just show that you're someone worth investing in. Do this enough times, and people will be lining up to give you their time, attention, and ideas. Because the truth is, nearly everyone wants to help someone who is going places so they can feel responsible for that person's success. Is this really how it works? I realize this may come off as manipulative, or even sound a little unsavory, so allow me to address a few potential objections. Objection number 1. Don't influencers just want to help people out of the kindness of their hearts? Well, maybe, but they're busy, and so when push comes to shove, they're going to invest in people with promise, not takers who seem to make everything about themselves. Your best bet is to be remembered as the ambitious person with lots of questions who is eager to learn, not the know-it-all who is more interested in herself than the person with experience. Objection number 2. Hear that on tomorrow's episode. You just listened to part 1 of the post titled, "Yes, There Really Is a Shortcut to Success," by Jeff Goins of GoinsWriter.com. Thank you to HelloFresh. With HelloFresh, you get farm-fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. Skip trips to the grocery store and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. That's why it's America's #1 meal kit. HelloFresh handles all the meal planning and shopping to deliver everything you need to cook up a tasty meal right at home. They do the hard part, and you get to take the credit. A new season calls for new meals, and HelloFresh has a fresh fall lineup of delicious dinners and more to choose from. Take your pick from 40 weekly recipes that suit your lifestyle, from veggie to family-friendly to fit and wholesome. And my favorite part? HelloFresh is actually significantly less expensive than both takeout and grocery shopping. So HelloFresh has managed to save me time, health, and a little moolah. So go to HelloFresh.com/50OWD and use the code 50OWD for 50% off plus 15% off the next 2 months. Go to HelloFresh.com/50OWD and use code 50OWD for 50% off plus 15% off the next 2 months. Your business was humming. Now, teams are buried in manual work, taking forever to close the books. Consider 3 numbers: 36,000, 25, 1. 36,000. That's the number of businesses which have upgraded to NetSuite by Oracle. NetSuite is the #1 cloud financial system, streamlining accounting, financial management, inventory, HR, and more. 25. NetSuite turns 25 this year. That's 25 years of helping businesses do more with less. 1. Because your business is one of a kind, so you get a customized solution for all of your KPIs in one efficient system with one source of truth. NetSuite is giving you the power of having all your information in one place, helping you to make better, more driven decisions as a business owner. Right now, download NetSuite's popular KPI checklist, designed to give you consistently excellent performance, absolutely free at netsuite.com/startup. That's netsuite.com/startup to get your own KPI checklist. netsuite.com/startup. And thank you to Jeff, a super popular writer and the best-selling author of 5 books, including The Art of Work and Real Artists Don't Starve. On his site, you can hear his thoughts on writing, life, and creative work. And you will hear him narrated across a few of our shows, so if you're looking to share your work but you're afraid of becoming the starving artist, his site and his content that we read here across the network is definitely for you. So come on and check it out at goinswriter.com. And thanks again to Jeff for letting us share his work. Okay, that is it for today here on Optimal Work Daily, but it's not it for this episode because this was part 1 of 2. So come on back tomorrow, and that's where we will finish up this post and where your optimal life awaits.